back there.
Whenever you're putting together an arrangement, how much of it do you actually write down on paper as opposed to just kind of improvising? And would you recommend the same process for a high school a cappella choir as opposed to like a professional?
Honestly, I would say that you guys should figure out what you do best. I'm always a huge advocate for knowing exactly what you're singing on the page, you know, and I think it's so important to learn music theory and to be able to sight read and all those things. And but if you're arranging by ear, I mean that's already, you know, pretty high music theory in general. So I would say it's really whatever is best for you guys. If you guys don't have a lot of people that can just come up with things, you know, on the spot, then write it down and arrange it, you know, on paper. But if you guys are so much better at just jamming it out and figuring out parts and kind of just overlaying them yourselves, then do it, you know, and then you can have someone transcribe it later. But it's really whatever your strength is. She would be as awesome as she is, and she's even more awesome. She's so down to earth. She's so sweet. She's a good old Texas girl. She really is, and she has not changed at all since the beginning. But honestly, what I learned most from her was that she leaves it on the stage every single night. Every single night that she goes out there, she doesn't take it for granted. There are a lot of artists go out there and they show up late to their shows, they don't even sing live. She sings live every single night, and she belts. She really goes for it. And she makes sure to keep care of her voice so she can do that for her fans every single night. That's what I learned from her. She puts her whole heart into it. And that is priceless. It really is worth it.
But basically, the overtone, everyone's voice, when you sing, you have natural overtones in it. So overtone singing is really just accentuating those overtones with your mouth and your tongue, okay? So how I always teach people to do is you start with a note that's, you know, kind of in your upper register. For me, it would be like a B, or like a B flat or something like that. Can you give me a B? So that would be a good place for me. So if I just do, and then I change it to an you can almost hear them, right? Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my tongue as if it's an do you guys know what an armature is? Yeah. Okay, great. So for those of you who don't know what that is, basically on the trumpet, that's a little mouthpiece, okay? So you're using your mouth as a mouthpiece. So you're setting up, basically you're gonna put your tongue right behind your, I believe it's called your dental ridge, right? You know that little ridge right behind your teeth? So you're gonna have about this much space between that and that dental ridge, okay? And when you're on that what you're gonna do is you're gonna move the front part of your tongue just a little bit back and forth, and you'll be able to hear the overtones start popping out. And then what you do from there is you figure out where your loudest overtone is at. You keep the back of your tongue in the same position, and then you use your lips and the front of your tongue to change the pitches. Does that all make sense? I know it sounds intense, but when I do it, you'll understand. So I'll do it the note. What was the B again? Cool?
But you guys can hear all the changes, right? It went from the to the to moving the tongue. So you'll hear it. I'll move my tongue just a little bit further forward, and you'll hear the overtone start popping. I'm moving my tongue into a different position. And the only reason I know how to do that is because I've worked on it like a nerd for many, many years. So it's actually not too hard to do, but in order to control it, that's the hard part. So being able to do it isn't too hard. I would say the only problem you run into that I hear most is your tongue gets in the way, and it's the back of your tongue. So just make sure that there's enough space in the back of your mouth to be able to let that resonance happen.
A competition. So when you're listening to them, be supportive, get excited, just like you work with those other groups. They're up here, they want to sing for you guys, and you guys should want to listen and be behind them, okay? Thanks for having me, UT. I love you guys so much. Go Vols.